All right. We are live. Just gonna have Dad check out, make sure I'm in the camera,
Yep.
make sure everything's good.
That's good.
All right, thank you. All right.
Make sure you talk.
Yep. So I am gonna wait here for a couple minutes, just for some people to get the notification and be able to join us live here today. You know, having an all right day. I'm not gonna lie. It's iffy. I mean, started off the morning pretty good. Had a very boring day at school. Just watching a lot of final presentations and final projects for that matter, and kind of just wrapping up a bunch of my shop class stuff. You know, I got to wash my car today in auto, so that was pretty cool and nice. I also got to wash off one of Dad's wing panels so I can hang that up in my room along with the other one from my car. So having a pretty good day just here in the shop. Came out here right after school, started to maintenance some more stuff. I'm pretty sure Bob and Mike were here today because the bolt check was done on my car from what I know. And I actually rechecked it when I got here because I didn't know that, but everything was good there. Just getting ready for Dodge this weekend, which I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. And yeah, so I'm just going to pop my head behind and make sure that everything's going good. Make sure that you guys don't have any questions, and like I normally say, if you guys have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. I will get to them as soon as I can. Normally right after the video I'll get to them. And yeah, I'm going to give you guys a quick walk around a little bit of my car at the end so you guys can see that nice hot rod before we get her ready. And yeah. All right, so everything's working good. We got some people in here. All right, so I'm gonna get right into it. First things first, make sure you guys keep your eye on a lookout. I am waiting on actually my little microphone adapter thing that I talked to Matt Rapina about. That was ordered, so we're gonna wait on that. As soon as I get that in, I'm going to be getting right into the interviews once again, so that'll be cool. I'm currently just using my phone speakers right now, so it's kind of echoey, and we're going to hope to solve that problem with a new microphone and an actual plug-in adapter that makes the microphones work, so that'll be pretty cool. I do have the podcasting mics, so now that that other piece is on the way, I'm also going to be able to run the podcast, so those mics will finally work. I'm probably going to use those for the interviews, and then just use the other mic, the singular mic, for my Tuesday talks, because I can just speak louder and don't really have to worry about anyone else being able to gauge how loud they have to talk to ensure you guys can hear them then. So just gonna be waiting on that, which is going to be very cool once I get that in. Hopefully the audio is like crystal clear and just perfect at that point in time. Once that happens, we'll be ready to go for some very, very good high quality content. But yeah, we're gonna move into this past weekend. I'm just gonna update you guys real quick. We raced Saturday and raced part of Sunday. Starting on Saturday, what was it? We were at Plymouth Dirt Track Racing. Pretty decent day, a little warm out, but I ended up starting third. Yeah, I ended up starting third in my heat race. Ended up falling back like 1 or 2 spots, and ended up having one guy dropped out, the 69 of Bill Taylor. He started waving his hand out the window as I was following him down the front straightaway. So that's always an experience for those of you who have driven and have had a person start waving their hand out while you are full throttle behind them. Can get a little scary sometimes, but thankfully I was quick to react, and he pulled off, which was really nice, because then we never got a yellow or anything. So thanks, Bill, for doing that. You know, some guys just like to sit out there and cause a yellow, and you know, I really don't like that, and I really appreciate that he did that. So then we ran a couple more laps, and then I'm going into turn 3. I see Tim Hattie and Blake Wondra in about turn 4, because they were probably a quarter of the track ahead of me, and next thing you know it, I see the 47 car of Wondra up in the air, and yeah, that wasn't cool, going into the corner, seeing a guy flipping like that, especially with like 2 laps left to go. I mean, we were all going to transfer, and it was just, well, they all were going to transfer. I would have been 1 car out, and so unfortunately they made that mistake, which moved me up 1 more spot. Made it very interesting because we had a single file restart for the heat race. It was Tim, the 63K of Kevin Carnitz, and then it was me and Brandon Berth behind me. I'm not going to lie, I really, really, really do not like single file restarts. There's just a lot of things that can go wrong, or that can happen, obviously, and you know, I'm getting ready. I'm lined up behind the 63K. He's always very, very quick, and I was planning on following him a little bit, but I knew that Berth was going to be pretty quick behind me. I knew that I just wasn't feeling as fast as I needed to keep pace with them, which I'm not really sure why, but I just knew that, and I knew that I needed to protect the bottom after that single file restart. He poked his nose a little bit going into 1, and I kind of just drove away. Didn't see his nose again after that. So that was nice to start 3rd and finish 3rd in that heat race, which put me in, what was it, like 14th starting in the A, I believe it was. Yeah, it was 14th in the A. I was starting, ended up 13th. Unfortunately, I got caught up in the, I guess you could say, catastrophe that happened with all the lap cars up front, and kind of sending Dad piling into the wall with Lance spinning out and stuff like that. So I had Lance spun out in front of me, kind of veered the car away, and when I veered the car away, it started sliding on me a little bit, and I was basically going to slide right into the side of Dad. And I figured that it would be better for us to have to fix 1 Davis car than 2 Davis cars, because you know, that's never a fun time, especially on a 2-day show like that. So I pulled it out of gear as I was sliding into him, which caused me to come to a stop, essentially putting me at the back of the field because I was a part of that yellow. And unfortunately, that time they brought around 2 lapped cars and ended up lining them up in front of me. There was just a lot of screwy things that went on with that lineup and how everything was going during that race. So it is what it is, though, and we made it out that night. I made it out the night without any damage, so that was really cool. I also have to say that was the best I've ever felt on a dry slick track. I mean, I was probably up to 10th at one point in time and was just picking cars off the bottom. You know, Will got under me one time, and I made sure never to let another guy get under me. And yeah, I have to say that was probably the most comfortable I've ever felt running on that drive of track. As the race went on, obviously, with a very, very dry track as it was, you start to build a little bit of rubber. So towards the end, you could start feeling the little vibration from the rubber that was being laid down. And yeah, it was kind of just a one-laner. You had to either pick guys off from the bottom when they slid up coming out, or you had to be right on their right rear, kind of diving on them and snagging the bottom of the next corner. So that's all I have for that Saturday. Then we would go into Sunday, looking at a lot of rain in the forecast and a lot of just bad weather in the forecast. Dad ended up coming back home here instead of staying at a hotel, so that screwed up our process a little bit. But thanks to the boys, everything was done and loaded back up and taken out to the racetrack. I met Dad at the racetrack. I was probably like within the first 10 people there, so everyone was kind of waiting, playing the waiting game, and kind of just watching the radar. Of course, Lloyd, I told you guys about this before, it's always Lloyd or us that gets that first spot at Sun Prairie, and due to the fact that Dad came home and left a little bit late, Lloyd in fact did get that spot, but like the great man he is, he saved us the spot right next to him. So we had those guys next to us, and it was looking really good while we were there on Sunday. Perfect when we were working on the cars. Well, I wouldn't say perfect because I don't like that type of weather. It was hot and humid, and I'll get to a little funny point about hot and humid at Sun Prairie, but it was perfect in the means of no rain to work on the race cars, and it was looking good for the night. Now back to what I was saying on the Sun Prairie thing. I've noted, and so is Dad, every time we go to Sun Prairie, it's either unbearable heat, literally unbearable, like 100 degrees, or it's like 70 degrees, overcast, and as humid as it can possibly get. And I thought that was kind of funny because it's like every single time we go there, it's the same weather. It's the same weather. Every time the MSA 360 sprints are there, it's the same weather. What do you guys think about that? I think that's kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of a superstitious person, so that just stands out to me in that matter. But we got the heat races in, the midget B main in, and then we finally got canceled. I went live, for those of you who didn't get to see it, I went live actually right before they ended up canceling it. I gave a little rundown on what I was thinking. I kind of showed some of the guys that were talking about what was happening. I showed the track being worked on, and then right when I was about to end it, they went over the PA and started to announce that. So that's kind of how that little video ended. But in the heat race, I'm gonna get to kind of everything that happened. Actually, before the heat race, I'm gonna do hot laps. Hot laps went really good. I was in the third heat. We only had 3 heats. There was only 22 cars, so we had a full field of cars, no more, no less. So we didn't have to run a beat. But in hot laps, I felt really good. I felt really fast. I was in the top 10 in hot laps for one of the quickest times. And speaking about pretty quick times, Austin Hartman, I have to congratulate him. He was flying, and I will take a little bit of credit myself because, you know, Austin's never raced there before, and I was like, yo buddy, this is how you gotta drive it a little bit. You can't be driving it like you drive these other tracks. So, you know, I take a little bit of credit myself for maybe giving him a little bit of an idea on how to run the track, but I do have to congratulate him. He was the fastest car in the heat races. That is known. He did beat Dad, so I can't imagine how he felt. I know how I felt, so that was pretty cool. But kudos to him for doing that first time at that track. You know, I think it's something with the younger guys. Every time some of us younger guys go to tracks that we've never really raced at before, I feel like not knowing is almost better than knowing what to expect, because then you almost overthink it a little bit. And when some of us younger guys just go to these other tracks, we really don't have an idea, so we just drive it like we need to. You drive it like you would think the first time going in there, and it's just, it normally works out. I think that that's something that I even have to work on a little bit, is kind of acting like that, even though we go to Plymouth every Saturday or something like that. I need to be able to not overthink it, or not almost expect to run a certain way or a certain thing. You just got to be prepared to just do what you got to do. And yeah, I think that was pretty cool. Dad would have rolled out second in the feature with Travis Aarons on the pole, so that would have been a cool battle to see up front there. There was a lot of heavy hitters up front, and those guys always put on a good show at Sun Prairie. We all do. One thing I will note is, hopefully, I know I don't like to hate or anything or put out bad stuff, but I will say, hopefully they can work on the cushion at Sun Prairie a little bit. Every time we go there, the 360s have a problem. We're not like the 410s. We can't just blow the cushion out to the wall, and that track really likes to roll up. The dirt really likes to roll up there. So when we're running the bottom in hot laps and run it in, it starts to roll it up already. In our heat races, we kind of all run the same line again, and it starts to roll up more, and then it starts to build up a gnarly cushion in the middle of the track. And that kind of relates over to my one post that you guys may have seen with my broken Super Shock. Unfortunately, Tyler Davis is wonderful at breaking Super Shocks. I don't know why, man. That's the one thing I hate to do because I love them so much. But I went flying into one in my heat race, went flying in turn one with that gnarly cushion, and I just plowed the right front straight into the cushion like a rookie, and ended up blowing out one of the seals or whatever, blew all the oil and stuff that was inside the shock onto my headers, which then evidently smoked it at me. Now I'm going to explain this to you guys real quick. My gauges, we forgot to charge my gauges, and with these quick car gauges, if you forget to charge them, sometimes they'll do a little funky stuff on you, and mine was doing a funky stuff on me, and then I was like basically in the middle of like trying to flip them off and flip them back on to see like what I was running or whatever, and just as this whole ordeal happened with my right front shock blowing out and then all the oil hitting the header, it puffed the smoke at me, and when I had reset it, it took a minute for it to read the oil pressure, and it read 0. So at that time, I wasn't even worried about my right front shock. Everyone, when I came in, was like, dude, your right front shock, man, like, what happened? Like, what was going on? And I was like, I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't even realize that my right front shock was broken. I was more worried about the fact that I just saw a puff of smoke, which I thought was oil, and the fact that my gauges weren't reading correctly at that time. I was more freaking out about that, because the last time I was at Angel Park, it was the last time we said hello and basically said goodbye to our old faithful motor, because it was at Angel Park when it finally decided to just be kaput. So I was sitting there thinking, man, like, what's going on? It's got to be the prairie. Something about the prairie always gets to me. And that's another thing that I wanted to touch on. As much as I love that track, and I'm always super quick in hot laps and whatever, and at that track, and even in the B main, I was a couple years ago, I almost won my first B main there. I've always had a problem when I've gone to the prairie. I do not know what it is. Ever since I had the micro, I had problems there. I moved up in the sprint car, I've had problems there. I've couple of years, 2 years, 2.5 years down the line in the sprint car, and I still had another problem there. So I don't know. There's something in the air there. Something's out to get me, but I'm definitely going to conquer it. And when I do get a perfect, fully functional, not breaking race car, I have a feeling, like I said, I'm very superstitious. I have a feeling that all of these times that I've done bad there or broken something there will be corrected with something that maybe I'm not necessarily ready for yet. So who knows, maybe that's why we got rained out. We'll have to see the next time we get to go out there. I know in our drivers meeting we got to talk to the new owners and whatever, and he was talking about how he really wanted us there a lot more, but with the whole scheduling late thing, they weren't able to book as many shows as they would like with us. So definitely looking forward to getting these next couple shows in there for this year, but really looking forward to years to come, because I know we will definitely be there more, and I would really love to race at that track a lot more. I know you guys would love to see a lot of Sunday night races at Sun Prairie. It's nice to have a dirt track running on a Sunday. As hard as it is during the week on us, I think it's worth it at the end of the day. Now kind of switching gears a little bit, literally, physically, and metaphorically, because we will have to switch the gears. We are coming from Sun Prairie and going to Dodge County Fairgrounds this Friday for the Fuzzy Fossbender Classic. That's going to be really cool. Obviously, the Fossbenders are very close to me, and I was able to meet Fuzzy and go to Christmas with him before he passed away, so that'll be pretty cool. I know there'll be a couple people that are really going to want to win that race. Lance being one of them, obviously, that's his father's memorial or classic race, and definitely me. I always love when we have an extra purpose for winning something. It just so happens that it hits pretty close to home. And yeah, so now with that being said, now there's 2 races that I really want to win at Dodge, and that would be the Fuzzy Fassbender Classic and the Harry Neitzel Tribute. So Dodge is definitely going to be a lockdown fast racetrack. It's going to be fun like always. Unfortunately, sometimes it does get spread out for the fans, so there's not always that close of racing. We're going to hope for some close racing, but as a driver, it's really fun to go in a corner with your foot all the way to the floor and just turn the wheel probably no more than 2 inches, and that's pretty cool to be able to do that. So we're going to be at Dodge Friday night, and then we are going to be at Plymouth on Saturday. That's going to be really nice, really fun weekend. I like the fact that I have off on Friday from school, so I will be able to go up there early and kind of take a little bit of a relaxing day and just kind of, set the tone for later in the night. Probably going to have a fire or something afterwards, and then we'll be ready for Plymouth again. And yeah, with all of that being said, I kind of run out of my little updates and whatever. There's a couple things. Hats, I still have like 4 hats left. Merchandise, that is now, I can now say, that is now in Dad's power. So if you guys are looking for merchandise, be sure to contact Dad or myself, but that's all going to pretty much be going through Dad. I finally got him emailed my t-shirt design for the front, and that front logo I got sent out to him. So we'll be getting that rolling here pretty soon, because I know there's a lot of you guys who want to know about t-shirts and other merchandise. I am going to be dropping another round of hats, except they're going to be with the updated bright colors, so that'll be cool for those of you who always like the OG or the classic versions. Be sure to pick up your classic one. Hopefully I'm wearing the right hat. Yeah, I am. I was just trying to make sure. For a second there, I thought I was wearing my Badger Steel hat and was looking like a complete goon. But be sure to pick up one of the OG hats if you want to rep one of the old style ones in memory of Anthony Hales. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have for updates and stuff like that. I'm going to walk you guys around the car real quick here, and then I'm going to put an end to today's Tuesday talk. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. I will be checking them out. So we got the car, got the torsion bars out right now. I've been working on those, getting them clean, and then going to re-grease them and put them in, get it all ready for Dodge. So we got that there. And then Jason's car in the back, Dad's car right here. And yeah, that is all I have for this week's Tyler's Tuesday Talk. Thank you for tuning in. I will update you guys tonight and keep you guys updated during the week. And we'll be loading Thursday, racing Friday and Saturday. Be sure to come on out. It'll be a great show, especially on Friday night. And that's all I have. Deuces.